Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving right into a major economic shakeup. We are breaking down the 12th BRICS Labor and Employment Ministers meeting, which just took place in Hyderabad. This summit brought together some of the world's biggest leaders to basically map out the future of skills, jobs, and labor mobility. It's a huge deal, and we're going to unpack exactly what was agreed upon and how it's going to impact the global workforce. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The 2026 Hyderabad Summit. 2. The Ministerial Declaration. 3. Launching the BRICS Connect framework. And finally, 4. Why this summit actually matters on a global scale. So, starting off with Section 1, the 2026 Hyderabad Summit, and how it is setting the global stage. Picture the scene. Over 2 packed days on July 15th and 16th, 2026, ministers and top-level officials from all the BRICS member nations gathered in Hyderabad. And since it was chaired by India as part of its 2026 BRICS chairship, this was way more than just a diplomatic photo op. This was a heavy-hitting gathering of the actual architects of labor policy. They were building a massive international coalition to tackle the shared challenges of our modern workforce. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer mind-boggling scale of this expanded BRICS coalition. When you include recent additions like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the UAE, Ethiopia, Iran, and Indonesia, these nations now represent roughly 40% of the entire global population. That means we're talking about the working conditions, the skills, and the social security of over 3 billion people. And economically, the stakes are just as massive. Collectively, this group holds about 25% of the global GDP. To put that into perspective, any shift in labor mobility or work standards across a quarter of the global economy creates an immediate ripple effect. It literally touches every other market on the planet. Which brings us to Section 2, the Ministerial Declaration and their specific policy commitments. The absolute bedrock of the summit's declaration comes down to this core commitment: decent work and social protection for all. Now, for many BRICS nations that are navigating really large informal economies, establishing this as the baseline is a massive, highly complex undertaking. It basically acts as the North Star for all of their modern labor policies moving forward, whether they're discussing AI, the gig economy, or rapid digital transformation. Because let's be real, the core themes here acknowledge a pretty harsh truth. The jobs of tomorrow are going to look very, very different from the jobs of today. This declaration heavily prioritizes adapting to the digital revolution and making sure workforces actually have next-generation skills. By leaning into multilateral cooperation, these countries are trying to navigate these massive tech shifts without leaving social justice behind. They want to ensure equal opportunities as their labor markets evolve. Moving on to Section 3, launching BRICS Connect, a totally new framework. So how do they actually turn a declaration into real action? Enter BRICS Connect. This was launched at the summit as a dedicated framework for technical cooperation and knowledge sharing among the member nations. Instead of everyone trying to figure out the future of work in isolation or just relying on traditional Western models, this provides a unified global South-led engine. It's built for collaboration to create an inclusive and sustainable future for workers. It basically operates as a logical 4-step pipeline. First step, you have the exchange of good practices. That directly feeds into Step 2. Joint research and capacity building. Then, that research informs Step 3, which is creating specific skilling initiatives for new and emerging industries. And finally, those new skills help shape Step 4, inclusive, sustainable national labor policies. It is a complete end-to-end strategy designed to build highly resilient, future-ready labor markets. So, the crucial point is really captured in their recurring motto: connecting nations, empowering labor, shaping the future. It's a great reminder that behind all the dense macroeconomic data and policy pipelines, the ultimate human-centric goal here is to empower the everyday worker across all these incredibly diverse nations. Finally, let's zoom out for Section 4, why this summit matters and its global implications. And this brilliantly illustrates the big picture dynamic of the 2026 meeting. Right now, the immediate short-term focus is laser-targeted on strengthening global South cooperation for inclusive development. But make no mistake, that serves a much larger ultimate goal. They are laying the groundwork to create highly resilient, future-ready global labor forces that can actually survive and thrive through incoming economic and technological disruptions. If successfully implemented, the tangible benefits we can expect from this expanded BRICS group are huge. This initiative aims to directly boost employment generation, rapidly enhance skills for modern demands, and build much stronger social security nets. All of this promotes a model of development that actively tries to balance rapid economic growth with fundamental workers' rights. We've just seen how 40% of the world's population is unifying its approach to digital transformation, skill building, and labor mobility through BRICS Connect. The world's economic center of gravity is clearly shifting, and the way these nations collaborate on labor policies is going to ripple through industries everywhere. Which leaves us with one vital question. As this unprecedented level of global South cooperation accelerates, how will it ultimately shape the future of your work? Thanks for joining me on The Explainer, and I'll see you next time as we continue to decode the forces shaping our world.